Welcome to UK Crownix, where we push past the noise to bring you the clear and simple truth. Today, something shocking has happened. The palace has confirmed Meghan's surrogacy scandal, and it now seems that Harry may be banned from the UK forever. Let's get into it. The British Monarchy has just broken its long-held silence, and the results are extremely serious. It is now being quietly shared in powerful circles that the palace has confirmed the one scandal they tried for years to hide. The surrogacy claims about Meghan Markle are no longer just rumours online. They are now seen as a recorded reality that has taken away Prince Harry's last chance to ever return to his home country. Imagine being told that your own children, the same bloodline you believed secured your place in history, are now the reason you are treated as an outsider. For years, people questioned the odd details, the changing timelines, and the complete secrecy around the births of Archie and Lilibet. But while the public argued and guessed, the royal family stayed silent until now. Sources from deep inside the Sovereign Grant and the Lord Chamberlain's office say that a private confirmation has been shared with the highest-ranking members of the royal family. This is no longer just about a family disagreement. This is about the legal strength of the British throne itself. Under the very old laws of the United Kingdom, a royal heir must be born from the mother's body to stay in the line of succession. If that rule has been broken, then a chain reaction of legal problems begins, and Harry is at the end of that chain. Buckingham Palace is not releasing a dramatic public statement, because that is not how they work. Instead, they are removing status in a quiet, careful, and controlled way. Right now, the doors to Frogmore are not just shut. They are being symbolically sealed forever. Harry now finds himself in a strange place with no clear legal or social standing. He is a prince without a country and a father whose children's titles now hang on a thin thread of legality. In this deep investigation, we are looking at the exact documents that are said to have been reviewed by King Charles III himself. We are also exploring why the Home Office has suddenly become stricter about Harry's security, and how one single detail about birth records has turned a duke into someone who may never return home. This royal power struggle has now reached its most risky and serious stage. And for Harry and Meghan, there may be no way back from this. For many years, the term moon bump was pushed into the darker parts of the internet and was dismissed by major media as just a cruel and silly conspiracy theory. But in the world of the British monarchy, silence often says more than a loud denial ever could. To understand why the palace may now be changing its position, we need to go back to the strange events that began in May 2019. When Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor was born, the usual royal traditions were not just slightly changed, they were completely broken. For many years, royal births followed a very careful and clear plan. There were the Queen's doctors, the official announcement placed on an easel at Buckingham Palace, and the famous hospital steps photo with Meghan. Instead, the timeline was confusing and messy. The palace said Meghan had gone into labour hours after the baby had already been born. The doctors' signatures, which are required by law for the line of succession, were missing from the official birth notice. At that time, the public was told that this was simply Harry and Meghan wanting privacy. But behind the palace walls, senior staff members were said to be raising serious concerns. Then came the birth of Lilibet Diana in California, and the secrecy only became even stronger. No royal doctors were there. No British officials could confirm that the baby was born from the mother's body. In the eyes of the British Constitution, a royal heir is not just a family member, but also a legal part of the state. If a child is born through surrogacy, even if they are biologically connected to the parents, the law in the United Kingdom is very clear. That child cannot inherit the throne or hold a royal title. This is the issue that has followed Harry and Meghan for years. Piers Morgan and other well-known critics have pointed out these strange details for a long time, but the real change happened recently when the palace's official website started to quietly update its information. It was not a big announcement, but a careful and precise move. Descriptions were changed, and titles were slowly adjusted deep inside the digital records. And most importantly, the legal team for the Crown is said to have started a quiet review of the birth certificates given by the Sussex team. Why now? Because King Charles III is no longer following the slow and careful plan of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. He is making the monarchy simpler and more direct. The surrogacy scandal is no longer just a story in the tabloids. It has now become a powerful legal tool. By letting these confirmations slowly reach insiders, the palace is sending a very clear message to Harry. Your position in the United Kingdom was built on rules that you chose not to follow. Now those same rules are being used to block your return. The rumours that were once brushed off as online trolling are now being talked about inside the serious offices of the Home Office. The question is no longer just whether they were honest. The real question is whether the Crown has the proof needed to end their royal status forever. As we look deeper into these official records, a troubling picture starts to form. It shows a situation where Harry and Meghan's biggest secret has turned into their lasting problem. To understand why the palace's reported confirmation is such a heavy blow to Harry's future in the United Kingdom, we need to talk about a phrase that is now causing fear in the Sussex camp: of the body. This is not just an old and outdated term from history. It is the very foundation of the British Constitution. Under the Bill of Rights of 1689 and the Act of Settlement of 1701, the right to the British throne is strictly limited to heirs of the body. In simple words, to stay in the line of succession, a child must be physically born to the mother in a way that the state can confirm. This is where the serious legal trouble begins. In the United Kingdom, the law about surrogacy is very clear. The woman who gives birth is the legal mother, no matter what the genetic link is. If a surrogate is used, the intended parents must apply for a parental order to become the legal parents. However, this parental order does not go back and change the of the body rule for royal succession. If the palace has really moved from ignoring these issues to confirming them, then Harry is not just dealing with a family image problem. He is dealing with the law itself. This is the final turning point. Even if Archie and Lilibet are biologically Harry and Meghan's children, if they were not born from Meghan Markle's body on British soil and under the watch of royal doctors, their place as 6th and 7th in line to the throne would not be legally valid. But why is the palace acting now? Sources say that a hidden witness may have come forward, a former senior staff member from the Portland Hospital, who has reportedly given a sworn statement about what happened on May 6, 2019. This person claims that the security measures used that day were not meant to protect Meghan from the media, but to hide the fact that the hospital's normal labor procedures were never started. When Harry tried to take legal action against the Home Office for police protection, he may have accidentally opened a very serious situation. To give him top-level security, the British government needs full and clear information about his status and the status of his dependents. If the government's checks found that the birth records given do not match the palace's internal medical records, then the refusal of security was not about cost, but about legal status. The UK government cannot give royal-level protection to people whose royal position is in question. This situation creates a form of permanent exile. If Harry comes back to the UK to challenge this, he could face a full legal process where hospital records, DNA tests, and witness statements might be officially demanded. It would be a case he could not win, and a scandal the monarchy could not keep hidden any longer. King Charles is said to be receiving advice that the only way to protect the institution is to fully separate it from the Sussexes, treating them as private individuals who stand outside the legal system of the Crown. The situation is now set. By confirming these details quietly behind closed doors, the palace has in effect taken away Harry's right to return. He cannot go back home because home is now a place where he would face a deep legal questioning he wants to avoid. As we move into the next stage of this crisis, we must ask, what did the late Queen Elizabeth know? And was her final act of kindness to Harry actually meant to protect the world from this very situation? The silence is coming to an end, and the legal chain of events is starting to move step by step. But the biggest reveal is not about what happened in the hospital. It is about the secret letters that were shared between Harry and his father just a few weeks ago, where the word surrogacy was said to be used in writing for the very first time. If you truly want to understand what the British monarchy is thinking, do not focus on their public statements. Instead, look at their digital actions. Over the past several months, a number of small errors and updates on the official Royal.UK website have given more real clues than any official spokesperson ever has. This is the method of quiet confirmation. It is a classic strategy from Buckingham Palace, designed to show a change in status without ever needing a loud public argument. Let's start with the strongest piece of evidence, which is the removal of roles and the changes made to their About pages. Recently, the profiles for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were not only pushed to the very bottom of the page, below lesser-known royals, but their detailed biographies also had important wording removed. Why is this important? Because in the royal system, every single word is carefully checked by a group of constitutional lawyers. But the real shock came when King Charles III shared his new list of military roles and royal duties. In a move that deeply affected the Sussex camp, positions that were once held by Harry, and that he believed might be saved for him in the future, were permanently given to Prince William and Princess Catherine. But this is not just about roles and duties. It is about the deeper legal reason behind it. The king is known as the source of all honours. He cannot give royal titles or roles to people whose position within the royal family is under internal review or legal doubt. By giving these roles to others, Charles is showing that the review into the Sussexes' unusual situations has reached a result that does not support Harry. Now, Let's discuss the secret letters. Sources close to the palace's legal advisors, the firm Farrer and Company, say that a formal exchange has taken place between the King's private secretary and Harry's legal team in California. The topic was a request for full, unedited medical records from the births of both children to be given to the Privy Council. This is not a father simply asking to see pictures of his grandchildren. This is the head of state asking for proof that follows the body rule to protect the royal line. For the first time in 3 years, the palace did not give its usual no comment when top journalists asked about the strange details in the line of succession. Instead, the answer was very direct and serious: the records are being updated to reflect current constitutional standing. In the language used by royal staff, this is a major statement. It means that the status has already changed. The strategy behind this is both smart and harsh. By avoiding a big public announcement, King Charles prevents Meghan from being seen as a victim by the American media. Instead, he is quietly correcting the official records. If Harry wants to remain in the line of succession, the responsibility has now shifted to him. He must prove that the births followed royal law, rather than the palace having to prove that they did not. This is why Harry's recent short visit to London was filled with tension. It was not only about his father's health. It was also a serious effort to arrange a privacy agreement about these birth records. But the King's choice to meet him for less than 45 minutes sent a very clear message. The situation is no longer open. The opportunity has effectively ended. When we look at the official court circular, which records the daily activities of the royal family, the name Sussex is now almost invisible. They are being removed quietly, not with loud announcements, but with silent updates. For Harry, who has always been defined by his place in this system, this slow removal is both a mental and political exile that he never expected. But one question still remains. What will happen if the public comes to believe that the person who is currently fifth in line to the throne may not legally belong there at all? The answer may be connected to a document that was reportedly found in the late Queen's private safe. This document could be the final piece that completely blocks Harry's return. For Prince Harry, the idea of living as a global royal in a Montecito mansion while still keeping a connection to the British royal system has now clearly come to an end. But what many people may not fully understand is that the surrogacy scandal is not only damaging his public image. It has also become the main legal tool used by the British Home Office to make sure he cannot return to his former royal life. This is the moment when the personal turns into political, and the political turns into a lasting exile. The centre of Harry's current legal fight in the United Kingdom is about RAVEC, the committee responsible for protecting royalty and important public figures. Harry has spent millions of dollars on legal costs trying to argue that he and his family should receive automatic state-funded police protection whenever they come to the UK. But here is the serious link that the main media avoids discussing. If the palace has confirmed, even in private, that the body rule was not followed, then Harry's entire legal claim for security falls apart very quickly. Think about it in a simple way. The British government gives high-level, taxpayer-funded security based on how close a person is to the throne and their official role as a working or senior royal. If the children Archie and Lilibet are legally taken out of the line of succession because of a surrogacy confirmation, then they are no longer seen as internationally protected individuals. In the eyes of the law, they become private citizens. And the United Kingdom does not provide full-time elite police protection to private citizens, no matter who their father may be. This is why the Home Office has remained so firm in its decision. It is not about personal feelings from King Charles or Prince William. It is about a very serious legal risk. If the British government gave royal-level security to children whose royal status is being questioned or officially challenged, they would be breaking their own constitutional rules. By confirming the surrogacy details quietly behind the scenes, the palace has given the Home Office a clear reason to refuse. They can now tell Harry, "We cannot protect you as a royal because legally your household no longer meets the requirements." This creates a situation where there is no clear way back home. Harry has said many times that he does not feel safe bringing his wife and children to the UK without proper security. By refusing that protection, the British system is, in effect, keeping him out without ever officially saying he is banned. They are making it both physically unsafe and financially difficult for him to return. But this isolation is not only about security. It goes much deeper. Reports suggest that this confirmation has led to a complete stop in Harry's access to royal homes. In the past, he was able to stay at Frogmore Cottage, which is inside the secure area of Windsor. But after being asked to leave and with the palace taking a stronger position on the surrogacy issue, Harry has now been told that any future visits would require him to stay in private places, like hotels. For someone who grew up in royal residences, Being placed in a London hotel without police protection is not just a safety concern, it is also deeply humiliating. It sends a clear message that he is no longer part of the inner circle. And what about his relationship with the family? This is where the sadness of Harry's situation becomes even clearer. Prince William is said to be the one strongly supporting this complete separation. For William, protecting the line of succession is extremely important. If there was any misleading information about the births, he sees it as a betrayal not only of the family but of the crown itself. He is not trying to repair the relationship. Instead, he wants a clear legal boundary that ensures the Sussex issue can never affect the future reigns of King Charles or his own. Harry now finds himself in a very difficult position. In the United States, his royal identity is his main source of value. It is what keeps his deals with companies like Netflix and Spotify and maintains public interest in his life. But in the United Kingdom, that same identity is being slowly taken apart by legal processes. He is a man connected to two countries, yet he fully belongs to neither. The more he tries to come back, the more the palace reveals information that makes his return even harder. He is learning that the monarchy is not only guided by emotion, but also by a strict and calculated legal system focused on survival. As more signs of this quiet confirmation appear, Harry's path back to the UK does not just seem difficult, it seems impossible. He has become the Prince of Montecito now. And for the House of Windsor, that is exactly where they prefer him to remain. But the most serious part for Harry and Meghan is still ahead. If they are no longer considered royal under UK law, then questions may arise about their status in the United States. What happens to their visas? What happens if the very base of their life in America is examined closely? Because if the titles they use are shown to be based on a hidden truth that the palace has now chosen to reveal, the consequences could spread even further. While Prince Harry is dealing with a difficult legal fight in London, Meghan Markle is facing a different kind of challenge in the United States, one that is focused on public image and perception. But as the palace's quiet confirmation of the surrogacy scandal slowly spreads into public awareness in America, Meghan's carefully built image as California royalty is facing a serious collapse. This is no longer only about family problems. It is about the survival of a multi-million-dollar empire that depends completely on a royal title that the UK government is now taking apart. Look at the timing of Meghan's newest business project, American Riviera Orchard. Just as the talk about the palace's internal review reached its highest point, there was a sudden wave of lifestyle content, strawberry jam, luxury home items, and polished cooking previews. To a normal viewer, it may look like she is trying to become the next Martha Stewart. But to media experts, it looks more like a rushed distraction. If you are about to lose your legal position as a duchess under British law, you need to create a new identity as a lifestyle business leader as quickly as possible. The problem is that you cannot sell a royal lifestyle if the royal part is being openly questioned. People in the United States are very interested in the British monarchy, but they also care deeply about what feels real and honest. If the surrogacy scandal moves from gossip to a confirmed legal truth, the story in America could change very fast, from Meghan as a victim to Meghan as someone who misled others. And in the world of major brand deals, being seen as dishonest can destroy everything. People in Hollywood say that large talent agencies are starting to feel uneasy. There is already a growing tiredness around the Sussex name, but more importantly, there is worry about a major reveal. If a big American network or a well-known journalist like Piers Morgan is able to show even one verified document from the palace's review, Meghan's brands in the US could quickly lose their appeal. No luxury company wants to be linked to a title that may have been kept through breaking royal rules. Meghan's plan has always been to manage public opinion better than the palace. She has relied on supportive journalists and high-end magazines to share her version of events. But the royal institution has something she does not: the power of official records. The palace controls documents, medical connections, and the official history. By choosing this moment to confirm surrogacy details through quiet legal steps, the palace is cutting off Meghan's support. They are not arguing with her in public. Instead, they are making her position weaker by removing the legal base of her claim. But here is the most serious risk for the Duchess. Reports say that a secret file is being shared among top media leaders in New York. This file is said to include a timeline of strange details put together by former palace workers who were once bound by strict confidentiality agreements. These agreements are now said to be quietly lifted by the Crown. If this information becomes public, it will not just stay a British issue. It could turn into a worldwide media storm. Meghan is now racing against time. She is trying to rebuild her image faster than the palace can take it apart. Each time she introduces a new product, the events from May 2019 come back into public discussion. The surrogacy scandal has become a powerful tool for public criticism, and it is being used by one of the most influential institutions in the world. While Harry sits in his Montecito home dealing with legal costs and denied security, Meghan is beginning to see that the life she imagined in America is still connected to a British reality she cannot control. The palace did not need to win a public relations battle. They only needed to wait until the truth became more interesting than the story being told. And as this situation moves toward its final stage, the question is no longer whether Meghan can succeed, but whether she can even continue competing. The royal institution is like a system that has survived for hundreds of years by dealing with and removing threats. Meghan Markle believed she could change it, but now it seems the system has chosen to remove her instead. As more attention is placed on the official status of Archie and Lilibet, the uncertainty around Meghan's future has grown stronger than ever. As the day ends over the calm and perfect lawns of Montecito, the gap between California and London feels wider than it ever has before. This was never only about a family argument or a lifestyle decision. It was a very risky move involving the strict rules that support a monarchy that has existed for centuries. By moving toward a quiet confirmation of the surrogacy issue, Buckingham Palace has not only made a legal decision. They have delivered what seems like a final judgment on Prince Harry's identity. The sad irony of Harry's journey is that while he was searching for freedom, he may have unknowingly lost the one thing he cannot ever buy back, his legitimacy in the eyes of the British Constitution. If the of-the-body rule remains the final barrier, then Harry is no longer a prince living in exile while waiting to return home. He is now a man who has been legally and symbolically removed from the future of his own country. The palace is moving forward. King Charles is focused on his legacy. Prince William is focused on the future. And the institution itself is focused on survival. For Harry and Meghan, the surrogacy scandal is now the shadow that may follow them into every business meeting, every red carpet appearance, and every page of history. You cannot escape the truth when the truth is controlled by the people who write the laws. But the most important question is not what the palace believes. The most important question is what you believe. Do the of-the-body rules still matter in the 21st century? Or is this simply a cold and careful way for the monarchy to remove a threat? Should Archie and Lilibet keep their titles no matter how they were born? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one because this discussion is only beginning. If you found this deep look into the story interesting, make sure to press the like button and subscribe. We are following every new detail coming from the palace archives, and you will not want to miss the next update about the secret file that could change everything. Harry wanted to break the system. Instead, it seems the system has broken him. He left the United Kingdom to create his own future, only to discover that without the crown, that future may lead nowhere. The doors are closed. The records have been changed. The story has reached its end. Prince Harry is now a man without a country.